Hey everybody, this is your boy friend Tinoco again. I have a lot I want to say. Basically, there's a lot. I can sit here and talk for 3 hours. You are not going to listen to me for 3 hours, but I want to talk one topic at a time. And this time, I'm going to um, submit to you the common thread with respect to what we see happening in our world. Um, and my bias is, of course, to describe United States-Mexico relations. Some of that might be interesting to you, some of it might not be. Um, but believe you me, what happens in a dynamic neighboring country like Mexico, and I'm coming to you from Memphis, Tennessee, we are not far enough away from Mexico to be insulated from the goings on in Mexico, in Memphis, by the way. So, not surprising. Um, Consider how easy it is to get a bus ticket right to the Mexican border. Consider how easy it is for us to um, fly there to dozens of airports in Mexico from Memphis in two legs. Do short ones. We used to have a lot more direct ones back in the day, like when I was in college and a young professional, but not anymore. That's airline consolidation for you. But, okay, the main thing I wanted to lay out is that, well, one thing, reality 1 and 1A. Reality number 1, the United States government, in the way it's presently working, is not doing so for our benefit as citizenry. Specifically, the high government officials in cabinet and high departments, as well as our representatives, as well as the entire executive branch, the officials that is, are not working for the interests of the American people. The second thing, okay, the second thing is that the owners of this country, that is the richest people in the United States, and through them and through the institutions that they own, like say BlackRock, Vanguard, any number of banks or large employers, they all the big lobbying organizations that represent all these large employers and large financial interests are the ones who run the United States, basically, and they have selfish interests not only in the United States but all over the world. They have self-interests all over Mexico, for example. Um, to think that we have government by the people, of the people, for people in the United States is laughable when you look at the evidence of such. It's absolutely laughable. Um, what the reality is that the United States government is aiding the owners of this country, the billionaires, basically, the thousand of them or so that exist in the United States, that own all the corporations, all the big companies, all the investment houses. Okay. They are, the government is aiding these oligarchs in the feeding frenzy of our wallets. They are helping the richest and most powerful people in this country take our money from us as we earn it. We go to work, we're supposed to pay bills, do the paperwork, vote for the candidates that they already pre-vet for us, owe nothing, go home, and be happy with our lives. We're not supposed to raise families. We're not supposed to have children for them to be happy. For them to be sensible, for them to have think critically, for them to be at home in this world, for everyone just to, none of that stuff, none of that stuff. We are to work until we're supposed to work. When we can't work, we're supposed to die quickly. And as we do so, we have to leave everything that we've made, not leave anything to anybody else, but have given it all up to the financial interests. The people that have done this the most successfully for the longest time have been the healthcare industry, because they literally extort us. Your money or your money or your life. Literally, when we have on average $100 a dose insulin in this country, when it costs like $6 to make, and Canada offers it for $35, which in any business definition is a wild margin, even for software. But yeah, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. So most of us want to have background checks for firearms, especially for high capacity firearms, semi-automatics. Like over 80% of us do, but none of that's going to ever hit a committee in the federal government. Most of us want good transportation. For example, I cannot I can't hop on a train and get to Nashville from Memphis. Nashville is 3 hours drive away through a very highly trafficked by 18-wheelers highway. But it's the oil companies, the automobile companies who for decades, ever since the 50s, got us to dig up the rail lines and go buy a car and put gas in it and go to Nashville from here. Or Little Rock. I can't go a shorter way the other way and hop on that rail service over there that takes me further west. In the prior case, of course, gun manufacturers hold enough sway. The guys who make the guns and the bullets hold enough sway over our elected officials to keep us from even doing background checks. And they will use the craziest among us in order to put that, in order to kill that legislation. The craziest, the people who feel the deepest about it. Most of us want to have marijuana legally, right? The problem is that that's going to hurt the pocketbooks of the beverage companies and the pharmaceutical companies. Right. I agree that if you drive a forklift or if you probably drive an 18-wheeler, you should not, you probably should not, if you operate any kind of big dangerous machine, you probably should not be on that stuff. For the most of us, it's pretty benign. Let's go on and on. Most of us want a competitive internet market, for example, but we have the highest cost and slowest internet here because a lot of those companies are based here. So their political sway is here, right? Most of us want to be able to afford our food the way we used to from back in the 80s and before. But the truth of the matter is the production of food has been concentrated into less and less hands. And so the price of it has gone up and the quality has been going down. The nutritional value has been going down. Most of us want cheaper drugs. But none of that's going to happen. None of that's going to happen. It's all guided towards taking money out of our pocketbooks, either through the higher prices or through taxes, and diverting it to all these other places. And This phenomenon is aided and abetted by what we see on television. When we talk about, okay, so we will have boogeymen that are being thrown at us. Immigration is a boogeyman. Crime is a boogeyman. It's a central issue, but it's not. It's a symptom. It's not a disease. The things that I've mentioned all to you to fix all these things would solve crime. But what do the policemen do? What do the firearms manufacturers do? What do the corporate incarceration industry do? By the way, a lot of these same guys own the detention centers for migrants. Right. So, and because this is taking a hell of a long time to keep certain pesticides out of our food supply that we're becoming aware of. It's taking us a hell of a long time to fix guns. And all of a sudden, for some reason, the Democrats rolled over and played dead on Roe versus Wade for them to campaign on. It's all a culture war. It's a culture war. And it's doing this to distract us from things our government does in the United States against us, not to our benefit, or abroad, not for our benefit, for someone else's benefit, for weapons manufacturers, for petroleum, for the petroleum industry, for the natural gas extractors. This is who is benefiting from what we have going on. And they use our media and they use our government to roll over, play dead, applaud it, consent to it, think that we have other things more important to worry about, like whether or not Travis Kelce can win that game and stay on and stay and keep Taylor Swift as her girlfriend. So that's all, bread and circus. We know how the Romans thought about it. That's how we are right now. But anyway, what we hear on the news about how things are going on the field, on the battlefield abroad, is baloney. Okay? What we hear in the news of what's going on in Mexico, it's baloney. It's bunch of caca. For those of you who understand that, because we know all this other stuff is baloney and is used to get us to consent to certain things, to act a certain way as a population, as a labor force. Okay, I will tell you the same things happening in Mexico. When we hear about how dangerous Mexico is, we don't hear about how dangerous the United States is. It's beyond. It's of course we know this to be true. So, this is a foundational discussion for everything I'm going to talk to you about in my next 20 or so videos, of all of which are going to be even shorter than this one. So, think about it. Open your mind. Stay with me. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because I will be giving you some facts to be a responsible consumer of information and responsible voter with your wallet as an American. And I'll put a little Mexican twist on it, since my parents are both from Mexico and I visit friends and family there very often and have interests there that I hold near and dear. But anyway, your boyfriend Tinoco signing off from North Memphis. Bye-bye.